Carlson, you need to eat something. Put some in your stomach. You can't be out there all day drinking them pops with Jared. Get your little play lunch, babe. Wake up Sunday morning, gotta cut my grasses. Gotta get it looking tight before Bernice starts asking, do you want some almond crunch or go to jazz brunch? Oh no.
Man, how y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in to Nonk Chauz's brand new podcast, and we'd like to thank all y'all for listening. Well, but I need y'all help. Right now, our little podcast net is only about 4 feet long and 4 feet wide. Well, y'all know that's not enough to catch shrimp to fill up an ice chest. We're trying to make our podcast net grow so we can fill up and get our limit. So y'all please tell your cousins, your parents, your nannies, the taunts and knocks to tune in to Nonk Chauz Wet Talk Podcast.
Now slice it, serve it, scoop it and move it. You can't put too much and you can't overdo it. Now slice it, serve it, scoop it and move it. You can't put too much and you can't overdo it. Now fill me to the top and put my gravy on the side.
Welcome back to another episode of Nonk Chauz Wet Talk Podcast. I'm Dolla Dawg, hot shotting from Delcon to Dulac every damn day. And I'm with your host, Nonk Chauz, the only man I know to limit out on soccer lay with only one cricket. On today's show, Mr. James Perry, Cajun word of the day, and news with Dolla Dawg. No, how you doing there, baby boy?
It's good to be back. I know we went offshore and we had some work to do. We hadn't done a podcast in a little while, and I'm glad to be back. And it should be a good one like that.
Oh, I'm glad that we got a lot to talk about. We got Festival International. We got New Orleans Saints draft picks. We got UL baseball acting crazy out there. Where you want to begin?
Well, I tell you what. I was just listening to the talk show with Tony Roberts show. Is that walk-ons? Him and Jay Walker was talking. He got all frustrated. Him, Dolla Dawg. Well, one of the umpires, they overcalled one of his calls like that. He didn't like that, so he went. He got a little frustrated. He started arguing with that old boy. That old boy was ignoring him, so he started talking louder. And then he thought, well, maybe he can't see me, so he got closer. And he was swinging his arms. You know how them Cajun people talk. He's a rope show, and he started moving his arms while he was talking like that. And he bumped that umpire with his arm, and the umpire tried to say he hit him. That man didn't hit him. Man, you know,
I can't believe that.
They threw him out the stadium.
Out of Cajun Stadium?
Yeah, out of the team. They threw him out of there. And he told him that, man, I'm the coach. I have a ticket and everything. And he still sent him out. So he went in the clubhouse. He said he watched the game from the TV in there. Maybe he was hot. Maybe he did that on purpose to maybe want to go watch that in the AC. And them poor boys, they got mollywopped this weekend. I think they went out to the festival one night and they got too tired.
Who they play like that?
They played Texas State, I believe. Don't quote me on that.
Well, they started out so good. I mean, are they going to better rebound or
man,
are they just fizzling out?
Oh, yeah, they came back the next day and they shut them out 2-0. But they got mollywopped 10-3. But they was probably dancing all night. They probably wanted to watch a little bands. They probably had some little girlfriends they wanted to take to the dance. I mean, they gotta let them boys dance sometimes.
Man, well, you gotta do that sometimes.
That festival was pretty though. You know, they had all the little bands. The weather was pretty nice. They had a little breeze. I know Sunday it rained a little bit. Man, you know they have all kind of other different bands that come play. But I always find myself by that French music. I saw Steve Riley and them play, and saw a bunch of other little French groups. And you know what? A couple things I was just suggesting. You know, they need to put maybe some seats out there. Maybe some little bleacher stands or something. And maybe I know a lot of times I go to one stage, they tearing down. I go to the other stage, they tearing down. I go to another one, they tearing down. They need to organize that with themselves. They have a band playing at all times, you see.
So you telling me they don't have any seats out there?
They ain't got no seats. You gotta bring your lounge chair, boy.
Man, my dogs would be barking.
You're not supposed to bring your dogs out there, but they had a few people with dogs.
Like my little tootsies would be hurting me.
Oh yeah, man. I tell you what, me and Bernice's feet was hurting so bad. We stayed out there. We got there about noon Saturday, and we didn't get home till about midnight.
Yo,
We shut
dance
down the
show.
place. Oh, talk about dance.
There
We
a
had
lot
a
of
good
people out
time.
there.
Yeah, Mom. They had a good crowd out there. You're never gonna guess what I heard was something funny though out there. You see,
What's that?
they had a lady from out of town. They was telling her to go get some boudin, and she didn't know what that was. So we kept trying to explain that to her. And she was from that. I think she was from that like Lake Charles area or something.
She don't know what boudin is.
And that's what I said. Maybe she had moved there, but maybe she was originally from somewhere else. You see. And boy, we kept explaining that and this and that. And you know what she said? She said, "Oh man, I get it. And she kind of talked like that.
Oh, she can't be from Lake Charles, yeah.
Maybe she from Texas or something. And she said, she was like, "Oh, I get it. That's a jambalaya push pop." And I said, "Man, that's clever. A jambalaya push pop."
Man, I never heard anything like that. Me.
And that's what I was saying. Maybe we can set us up a booth and start selling that.
Well, you ever heard of there's a company out of I want to say Cutoff or Marrero out there, a little past New Orleans. They sell boudin vending machines, fresh boudin right in the vending machine. 50 cents get you a link of boudin.
And
Every time I go down there, huh?
It comes out hot.
Comes out hot.
I wonder what they do. They probably just take the mix and they probably just load it in the back and they got the casing. I mean, they do it with coffee.
Well,
I don't know
yeah.
why they couldn't do it with.
The casing comes out of the front. You see the casing, and then a little thing comes down and it fills it up for you, and then it drops it. And it's good. I mean, it's okay. I mean,
Well,
vending
I
machine.
mean, you think about it. If you could do it two ways, like a coffee machine, for the filter, you put a boudin skin and the rice comes in there. It gets hot and then it presses out. Or you can think about like the clowns at the festivals. They make those little balloon animals. Those little things, they blow up real quick. You maybe use that machine or something, and you hook that up. You put your rice and your pork and all and your green onions, and you just shoot that up.
It's like magical to me.
And that's another thing that you and Todd Savoy could maybe get on.
Maybe we need to talk to
maybe
him
y'all
about
could
that.
do some decorative balloons instead of like the clowns. They do like the poodles and stuff. Y'all could do it with boudin.
Oh, like a boudin link shaped as a poodle?
Yeah, man, stuff like that for the kids.
I mean, I think the kids would appreciate that.
I mean, why waste your money on a decoration balloon when it's just gonna deflate or pop? And when you get tired of looking at the poodle, you eat it. You see?
It makes sense to me. Well, enough of this food talk. No, I really want to get. I'm excited. I've been waiting to talk to you all week about this. New Orleans Saints draft's coming up. Well, the draft is not just the Saints draft; it's everybody's draft. It's coming up next week, Sha.
Oh man, they're making us sweat it out this year. They keep pushing that draft back. I remember the last few years it was during festival weekend, and we gotta wait 2 more weeks. Not this weekend, but next.
Well, your pre-draft. I know you do all your little videos, and everybody loves those videos. Your predictions of the games, but I want to get your prediction. Well, the Saints had the 26th pick. I want to see what your prediction is and what you think the Saints could get. Because I know you talk to Drew every now and then, and you talk to Sean. So I want to see what the word is down there. What they're gonna be picking.
Well, a lot of people they was nervous about they were nerving about the offensive line last year. I think them boys was young. And if people they don't remember, like for instance, a lot of people when you draft some of them big hogs, them offensive linemen, them gros cochons, they don't remember them big boys because they're not catching the ball or throwing the ball. But they've been drafting them boys. They got Armstead, Lelito. They played a little bit last year, but they saying them boys are developing into some starters. You see, they're not alternators no more.
Well, they just picked up Zach Strafe again too. They brought him back.
Yeah, and they brought Zach Strafe. And so I think I was a little worried about that at first, but I've been reading reports on them boys. They've been practicing hard. So I don't think we're gonna have to waste our first round. I don't say waste, but I don't think we have to use that first round pick on a O-line. We got weapons. We do need some new depth at wide receiver. We still got Stills and Colston, and they're gonna lock Jimmy in. And I think the running back position is full. I mean, we lost Sproles, but that Kyrie Robinson, oh, that little boy can run him. But I still think we need some depth at cornerback. And boy, it's like every year, all them Saints fans, we always want to draft like a big time cornerback. I think that's the one of the hardest positions to play in football right now with all them laundry rags, them wash rags they keep throwing.
Yeah. Have you been out there? Have you been scouting for him? Have you got your eye on anybody in particular?
Well, they got a little boy from TCU. They got a cornerback over there. That's pretty good. I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, Jason Verrett?
Yeah, Jason Verrett. He's probably from Lafayette or something. I think all the Saints players they've picked in the last 20 years are all from the Acadiana area, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think they said Drew played at Turlings. Ingram, I think he played at Lafayette High.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Something like that. I know Bobby Hebert was from Louisiana and
He's
cut
from
off.
Lafourche
Played
Parish.
in that Terrebonne area, so I don't see why anybody else wouldn't play in that area. Man, they also signed Raphael Bush to a deal. I think he's going to emerge this year, and we still got Keenan Lewis. I think we got the best two safeties in the league now.
Well, what do you think about the Saints signing a little controversial, I guess? I don't know. Some people that hadn't really been talking about it too much, but agreed to terms on a 2-year contract for Champ Bailey.
Man, yeah, a lot of people, and I know he's getting up there in age. They're trying to get him out there. He can be another pair of eyes and ears on the field for the coaches. He's not gonna play every down. He's getting up there, but he can help them young boys, and I think that's something that's smart. They got a good deal on him. He can help develop some of them younger players and keep them in the right places at the right times, and keep their head on straight, so to speak.
So you think we're gonna have a good season this year?
Oh man, yeah, I think we're gonna be contenders. I think we're trying to become a little bit more physical, in the NFC.
So who's the biggest competitor you see? That we got the biggest obstacle you see?
Well, it's hard to repeat the Super Bowl, but Seattle's gonna be strong. But I think San Francisco is just hungry. Having been almost all the way the last couple years. I think the NFC South, I think Tampa's going to be a little tougher. They made a lot of free agent moves. A lot of people saying Johnny Football is going to fall to Tampa at number 7. They might even pick him up. They just got Josh McCown from the Bears, a veteran quarterback. They got a lot of weapons now over there. They still got a good running game. Now the Panthers, they lost Steve Smith. They lost Lafayette. And they lost some other key players. They're gonna take a big step back unless they could, find some weapons in the draft. They're not gonna have too much. So I think we're gonna win the NFC South. Last year was just kind of one of them things. We couldn't. But hey, you know what? Even if we'd have won our division, we still would have had to go through Seattle. Believe it or not. Nonk's been known to get a little nervy during them Saints game in Fox Stadium.
Yeah, I know. Well, I could probably talk all day about the Saints getting ready for that draft. You never know. All the pros that Mel Kiper Jr. I don't even know why he does draft picks, but there are all these mock draft this, mock draft that. It seems like it never really comes to fruition. Gut feeling. I just wanted to see what you thought we were gonna pick up.
Man, I think they're gonna go after a cornerback. Unless there's nobody left on the board, and they do one of them things where they're just trying to get the most talented player on the board. The wide receivers that really catch my eye, Sammy Watkins and Mike Evans, but they're gonna be gone before they get to us. So I'm scared to pick up a D lineman in the first round this year, and I'm really scared to pick up a wide receiver that early. So I'm really hoping that they go with cornerback. And I hadn't talked to Drew in about 2 weeks. I've been busy. He keeps calling. He wants to go fishing and all that. The soccer live biting this and that, and I just got stuff to do now. Sean and his little girlfriend was they came past last week, and I told him my little 2 cents, what I wanted him to do, and he said he was going to talk to Pop Tom about it. I said, don't make me go up there if I got to drive all the way up there to tell him that. I'm not going to be happy.
So our offense should be clicking like normal, and then all we gotta do is shore up that defense.
I think we need to be more physical.
Well, we released Roman Harper and Will Smith. You not worried about any of that?
Oh man, no. And I appreciate what they did, but did their time. They did their time, and it was time for them to go. Man, you heard we lost Malcolm Jenkins too. That Malcolm Jenkins, I think he went to the Eagles. And I think Roman Harper went to the Panthers.
What about I know you probably weren't too big of a fan of his, but Jabari Greer, they released him too.
Man, no, I like Jabari. He was a good player, but you saw that injury he had on his knee this year.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was bad.
You always know you.
Man, yeah, he had a bad knee injury, and he was getting older. I mean, that was a key thing that I really thought that was the difference in the St. Seattle game this year. We had Keenan Lewis, but we didn't have somebody on the other side that was developed enough. Corey White, he tried his heart out, but he was young. He played in the Turkey Bowl last year, and he went straight to the Saints after the Turkey Bowl.
The Slide Turkey Bowl?
Yeah, he played for Slide in the Turkey Bowl.
See, I didn't know that. Now, a lot of people are saying, and I want to get your thoughts on this, one, shore up the defense, or two, hey, we need some more threats to free up Jimmy Graham. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a good idea. We do need some more deep threats. I was really hoping maybe we could sign like Hakeem Nicks or somebody like that, a deep threat. That is a good idea. And they were even saying the reason they might go with a wide receiver, and I forgot to mention that, they're going to need a special teams player. They're going to need a kick returner now. That's Sproles is going, you see. So if they can get their bang for their buck in the first round and get a wide receiver that can return kicks, then they might do that. Some people are saying they might even trade up and do that. And I trust Mickey. Mickey's a good old boy, and he's done a lot of good stuff for the Saints. So whatever he decides, but me, I like a cornerback, and then maybe come with a wide receiver in the second round. We just haven't. I mean, think about it. When's the last time we had a first round wide receiver that did well? We always bust on all these boys. Dante Stallworth and all these big time wide receivers, and they don't come through, and it makes me frustrated. And it's like I want to go outside and shake the pecan tree down and shake all the pecans out. I mean, like Kenny Stills and Marcus Colston. Colston was a 7th round pick, doing well. Lance Moore, later round pick. I know we lost Lance, but we haven't had to have first round wide receivers. They get the gross tent. They get a big old head like that, and they don't want to play.
So
I'm tired of that.
I want to hear your prediction before we move on. Nonk Chauz in the draft room with Sean Payton. New Orleans Saints on the board. 15 minutes, first round pick. Nonk, who you picking up?
The best cornerback on the market.
So you picking up cornerback? Cornerback,
defensive back. We need depth. We need depth at the cornerback position. That's been the thorn in my spine for the last 2 years. I want a Super Bowl, like Kevin Footnam said. You drink that fine wine, it's hard to go back. It's hard to go back to that Mad Dog 2020. I want another Super Bowl, me.
You want that good stuff.
Man, and while we're talking about sports, and I mentioned Kevin Foote, I'd like to send out my condolences to Big Dave Thibodeau from Sports Talk on ESPN 1420. He passed away this week. I really enjoyed listening to him. He covered a wide range of sports, and he was always in a good mood. Even when Kevin would get off our shade, boy, he'd calm Kevin down, and they had a good time. And he always talked about play lunches. That's my little shout out I had gave to him in Play Lunch Attack. Do like Big Dave said, hit Poche's Embro Bridge, and you did not play lunch to throw up in my fridge. Because I demand you're going to be at your travailler So just put that plate lunch in the microwave. And that went out to Big Dave. And he will be missed in Lafayette. So.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, yeah. We'll go to a short little commercial break. Give y'all ears a little break. And when we come back, being that we're kind of talking about food, we got a new little idea. Maybe we're going to run by Dolla Dawg and try to maybe talk about getting us a little food stand started or something.
Man, how you doing? That's Nonk Chauz. Thank y'all for tuning in to our Wet Talk podcast. And be sure y'all visit us at our Facebook. We got Pinterest now too. And we also got the nonkchauz.com off the Electric Interstate. You can listen to the podcast there. And y'all get y'all a shirt. We got some koozies. And our podcast is now available on iTunes. So y'all pass by on the Electric Interstate. It's just a click away, shot. And we love y'all. Au revoir. Bien-y-voir. Bonjour.
I thank y'all for staying tuned with us after y'all pass y'all little ear on our radio sponsored commercials like that. Man, y'all know that Nonk likes to bring them musicians in and talk to a few Cajun musicians. And today we got a very special guest, Mr. James Perry from Kaplan. How you doing, Mr. Perry?
I'm all good. It's good to hear from y'all.
Well, we thank you for coming by the podcast net and talking to us like that. Y'all been busy with the little bands and everything?
Yeah, I've been playing pretty much with my band, the Back O'Town Playboys. We did Psycho Zydeco on Friday and Sunset. For Claudette Simon from Kaplan. She owns a little store in Sunset. And the Funky Flea, it's called. And then we played Sunday night at Cajun's. So, pretty busy.
Oh, at Cajun's, they always got that good food over there.
Oh, yeah.
And how long you been playing for?
I started playing guitar, I guess when I was like 15 or 16 years old. So a good while, 30-something years.
And that's, you play strictly Cajun French music, or you play other genres?
Yeah, I also play guitar in a rock and roll band called the Zigzag Wanderers.
You got a all the bands, huh?
I
stay busy. You got all kind of groups like that. Y'all do any gigs offshore or mostly on land?
Offshore. No, I'm scared of deep water. J'ai pas de little comme ça, bro. I stay rocking my feet on solid something, you know.
Yeah, you gotta just put you some. If you're scared, just put you a bunch of popping corks on your shirt. You fall off the rig, they'll find you floating.
Ooh, y'all, listen, I'm scared of heights, I'm scared of deep water, and I'm scared of small spaces. There's never any threat of me going offshore, I promise you.
We was talking, me and Dolla Dawg, we was talking and we were kind of debating like that. You think, man, and everybody knows the French culture kind of took a big hit whenever they stripped the language out of the schools and everything like that. You find that lately, we kind of find that you got some younger musicians more interested nowadays. Do you find they got a lot more younger crowds out there?
Yeah, the dancehall scene has kind of gone by the way. People have ascribed the restrictions with like the OWI laws, so people don't really want to drive and go to honky tonks no more. You can blow a crawfish at your house and listen to a CD. But the younger people I know, like Chris Stafford and those people, they went through the French immersion program, and they're just fabulous. It's big. And you can look at like the interest in Festival International, which just passed, and a friend of mine, Ashley Michaud, has a La Prairie de Femme blog spot, and she does a lot of French stuff. So it's made a really good comeback.
Well, I think she had written something on her page one time. I thought that was like a little city or something, but not it. I guess she meant come pass by her blog.
Oh, maybe so, because La Prairie de Femme is just in between Leonville and Grand Coteau. If you blink, you're gonna miss it.
Well, I'm gonna have to try to look up again. And what was the French immersion thing you was talking about that Chris and them went through? That's you could find that in Lafayette.
Yeah, Lafayette Parish is a really good system. Both my children went from kindergarten through 8th grade, and their school is primarily in French all day with about an hour or 2 hours of English.
And you find that your kids they use that once they're out of school. They practice that, or they haunt to use that.
Some of them practice it. My son and I will do things where if we're going to work, our day is in French. So all in the truck and when we working, we speak a lot of French, he and I together.
Well, that's nice. You know, I like to always be fluent. I always tell everybody, if I ever become fluent, I'm going to have to bring a translator with me.
There you go. Hey, listen, if my mom and daddy had never taught me English or moved me out of a million parents, I'd still be happy as could be, bro.
Man, I wish. I always give my mom a hard time for not speaking fluent. My mama's fluent, my aunts, my grandpa, all them, papa, my mom. Everybody spoke French, and it just kind of skipped that generation, you know.
My family's all from the Cow Island area, south of Kaplan, and my papa, my mom's daddy, his name was Samar Tuchek. He never spoke English, and we spent a lot of time with him growing up. And he's the one riding down the road would say, "God la botte," he told him, "C'est t'appelles ça une cheval, c'est t'appelles la botte, c'est une vache." You know, that's who gave me that language, and it's like one of the most valuable things I have.
Yeah. Man, were you one of the people, I know a lot of y'all moved out of that area because of all the cruises and the cruise liners and all the tourists going through all them islands with the Norwegian cruises and stuff like that. Was that the reason y'all moved out of that area?
Not quite. I saw a couple of the Norwegians in the Warren Canal, but you know that we had already left by then. My dad's job took us all over the states. I lived all over the states.
Well, that's sad that they, you know, it's nice they have so much tourism for people all over the world in Cow Island and Pecan Island, but it's just bad for the residents over there. People like y'all want to just live an everyday life, and they want to come over there and see all the beautiful landscaping in Louisiana.
You know, the beautiful thing about Vermilion Parish, people would go to Abbeville for tours, and they would go down to Pecan Island to fish and hunt. But it stayed predominantly French because there was no interstate passing through there. There's really no reason for tourists to go down there until the modern era, and everybody wants to see an alligator. So we pray for that cycle Zydeco thing, and one of those men asked me, he said, I haven't seen an alligator. I'd really like to wrestle one. I said, well, I can't really understand why you'd want to do that. I said, I've been living here all my life. I've never had an urge to wrestle an alligator.
Man, no, me either. I like that, you know, sometimes I have to check behind me and throw a few little rocks at them when they keep pulling my damn turkey necks. That's about the only thing, it's about as close as I want to get, about a rock's throw away. And them things are getting big down there, man. They protect them too much.
In Cameron, right after Hurricane Rita, when people were back living down there, a friend of mine and I were fishing, and in all those little bar pits, away from the coast, like across the highway, it was full of speckled trout and all that. They were kind of landlocked. The trouble was there was so many alligators. You cast out your line, and 5 or 6, it looked like some dogs chasing a stick. As soon as the cork hit the water, here they all come. So you had to hurry and catch the fish or reel it in real quick.
And then you catch them, and then they want to eat the fish off the hook, or you hook them and you can't hurt them to get them off, or they want to give you a ticket. You know, that's man, y'all have some, we talk about fishing all day on here if we get sidetracked, but y'all have any, some new album? What's y'all latest album? Y'all putting the albums out lately?
No, I haven't recorded anything big lately. The Zigzag Wanderers did a little demo. I guess we had 7 songs on it, and we have a little studio in the country. It's on off of Gecko Road by Bro Bridge. If you see the sign, it says Gecko, but the people in the country, they call it Gecko.
Well, if y'all ever need somebody to pass some batons on some drums, y'all know Nonk. That's when Nonk's primarily a drummer like that. So y'all can always call me.
I'm gonna tell that to Harrington when I see him. That's a good idea right there.
Man, yeah, and I've been doing a little recording in Kaplan at Ravis Records with Lucas Broussard. He got a nice little studio out there right by the little town square. The big town square over there.
Yeah, Lucas is a good guy. There's a really good band from Kaplan called Makers Real.
Man, well, I heard about that little band, little rock, kind of like a little rock band.
Yeah, I went to hear them a while back, and it was a work night. I had to be up at 5 in the morning. I had to tear myself away 20 to 1. It was awesome, but I had to make myself leave, bro.
Well, I'll have to go past my ear on that. If Dolla Dawg, if you'd ever come in town long enough to go do something nice, He comes eat everything in my fridge, and he shoots back out on the road.
Man, Nonk, me and James are cousins. That's my first cousin on my mama's side and third cousin on my daddy's side. You know that, Nonk?
Oh man, y'all some cousins.
Yeah, we T cousins us.
Yeah.
Y'all used to fight over y'all pocket eggs for Easter.
James is always big. He always beat me up, Nonk.
No, tu connaissais pas vrai. He calls my daddy Nonk Bud.
Uncle T-Bud, Dad. Parent T-Bud.
See?
Hey, there, James. For all the listeners out there, can you explain to everybody, the difference between Cajun French music and then Zydeco music, and then kind of like the mainstream Cajun music they have nowadays?
Yeah, I can do a pretty fair thing of that. In the first instance of recordings in the 20s, the repertoire of both black and white was pretty much the same. And so people recorded the same kind of songs, the same stuff. And Amade Ordway, the first Creole recorded artist, Cajun bands still play a lot of his songs today, but basically the same way he played them. Then the Creole house band stuff kind of changed. It was called La La. And from La La you went into an R&B instrumentation with Clifton Chenier and using a piano accordion, and Booz Chavis using a single road. And those two offshoots are what is known today as Zydeco. And Cajun has stayed fairly much the same, kind of like country. And as they've gotten influences from out of state, they've changed the instrumentation a bit, where it was first just fiddles, then fiddle and accordion when the Germans came, then fiddle, accordion, and guitar as you got more Texans coming in, and then steel guitar and drums, to where bands call themselves Playboys now. Like I'm in the Branch Playboys and the Back O'Town Playboys. That's an offshoot of Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, calling your band that. And
so it started really with the you called it Creole, but most people, I guess, our age call it Cajun French music. But is that synonymous? Is that the same thing?
No, the Creoles would be the African American playing the same basic instrumentation, single row accordions, and singing in French. Whereas Zydeco in the modern instance doesn't rely as heavily on the French, and has even moved into bringing in hip hop, which some of that stuff is fabulous. Chris Ordway, Sean Ordway,
J. Paul got some nice
J.
stuff.
Paul, Lil Nate, those guys are fabulous. Lil Nate came to our school the other day and played and talked to the kids.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Nate also can play mean jazz piano too. He's a piano player.
Okay.
I played in a couple groups with him at UL. Nice guy, and a lot of them guys been going around to the schools. I know Chubby Carrier came out to our school a while back too, and it's good to hear that. You just never know. Like Mr. Chubby said, one of them little kids in the audience, he might just pick up on that. You see.
Yeah, and, I met a really good kid from I say kid, he's 29, he's 20 years younger than me. Saturday night we were doing a little jam session. Some friends of mine were cooking at Lakeview. Louis and Shannon Oakland. And they invited us to come play over there. And a guy walks up, and he was from Vermilion Parish. His name was Josh Connor, and he sat down and said, "Can I play the accordion a little bit?" He was awesome. He don't play with any band. He works full time, and that you just never know. There's more musicians play at home that you never hear about that are as good as anybody you'll hear. But I was going to tell you, on the modern era with Cajun, you have bands like Christy Gilry and them have Bonsoir Catan. They just released a CD this past weekend. And Fufole is probably at the forefront of that innovation in music. That All True Love CD that was nominated for a Grammy was just as good a thing as I've ever heard musically. And I heard rough mixes from their new record. It should be out, I think, in the next few months. And that stuff, the rhythm section, Mike Stafford and Philippe Biado, it was just staggering. The brilliance coming out of our area right now it's something to behold.
Well, that's good to hear, and like I said, we like having musicians on here, especially French musicians and Cajun musicians, and we appreciate y'all keeping it alive. And anytime y'all have maybe a little gig coming up or a record coming up or anything like that, just give your petit cousin a little message on the electric interstate, or give him a little page him on his beeper if he's not hot shotting, and maybe you can come back on the show.
All right, bro. Thank y'all very much.
Well,
Dog and
hey
Nonk
James,
Chauz.
James, before you leave, we gotta ask everybody that comes on one question.
Okay.
How you like your potato salad? You like it chunky, thin, or with a whole bunch of vegetables and stuff in it?
Me, I like my potato salad.
I mean, think about it now. Don't just throw an answer out there. This is an important question.
Well, I'm particular about potato salad. I don't like pickles or vinegar in my potato salad, and I like my potato salad with gumbo. And I don't eat rice with it. I put the potato salad in the bowl, and I serve my gumbo on top of that.
That man is smart.
So how you take your potato salad? You taking it chunky? You taking it thick? How you take it?
Or creamy. He sounds like he likes that creamy.
Yeah. But once you put the gumbo on it all becomes gumbo potato salad, bro.
Well, you got to answer, James.
I got to answer. Which part's chunky, the potatoes or the eggs?
Well, you can have eggs in there too.
Oh yeah.
Man, you got to have
buddy.
Got to have this.
I have to say chunky.
Chunky. That's how I like it, me. I always say I like my potato salad like my women, chunky and cold.
Well, James, it was nice talking to you, and help spread the word for me and your Dolla Dawg, your two cousins, Wet Talk Podcast Net. We're trying to get our podcast net to spread out, and y'all call Nonk if y'all need a baton player. I'm gonna come pass some sticks on them drums for y'all.
And James, before you get out of here, let people know where they can find you at there, James.
Every other weekend at Praise Y'all. So this weekend coming up, I'll do Friday, Saturday lunch, and Friday night, Saturday lunch, and Saturday night, and just here and there, as bookings come up.
You got a little website or anything?
We got a Facebook page for the Back O'Town Playboys, and we have a Facebook page for Zigzag Wanderers.
All right, folks, check them out.
Well, au revoir and bonsoir, boy. Get you some rest for your little job tomorrow.
All right, bonsoir. Bon rêve aussi, mon Nonk.
All right. Well, Dolla Dawg, you hear that do the Roustabout song in the background, babe? You know what time it is, man?
How y'all doing out there?
What time is it, Chef?
For that Roustabout of the week. And today we got one of my buddies, and I'm going to send a shout out in the dark to him. I have to put your infrared goggles on and pray for the best and hope that he answers. Boy, started in the back of Scott, being a machinist, buddy named Jeff. Boy, grew up right next to Early's. I mean, this is as Scotian as they come. That's from the heart of Scott. He done worked his way up. And boys all the way in Houston right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to patch y'all on through to Rylan Theriot.
Hello?
Well, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Like we've been saying all along, Roustabout of the week. The boy that worked the Waukesha in the Roustabout, do the Roustabout song. Rylan Theriot. ¿Cómo se va, Rylan?
Ça va bien. We out here at Marsh Island 261. We got a generator down. They ain't got no electricity out here.
Yeah, you need Dollar to hot shot that? T. Rylan.
Oh, we got, out here in that shallow water, we need that damn electricity. We were trying to use the Greco, but Greco, the unit ain't worth a goddamn anymore, so it went to Welch.
Hey.
We got the little 250 kW.
Hey, why you didn't call Dollar? You know he got his truck always ready to go. I was waiting for that beat.
You gonna back off that little unit?
Yeah, I can go to the shop real quick and get that for you.
Run down there to Bruce Park and back home that little 250 kW.
All right, I'm on my way, T. Where y'all at? Y'all gonna beat me the coordinates?
No, I'm on the rig. I'm at South Marsh Island 261.
Well, who I'm gonna meet at? They got T. Ronnie at the rig waiting to pick that up.
I got a head in Intercoastal. You're supposed to catch the bird in the morning at 6 a.m.
Oh, is that T. Kelly? T. Kelly gonna come out there? You gonna fix it, or y'all need a whole new unit?
Yeah, T. Kelly Hebert. He's my diesel mechanic.
Rylan, y'all working a lot more busy since you moved out there. You big time. You moved up a little bit in Houston for a while.
Oh yeah, we got climbing the corporate ladder. I mean, I started off small, but living in the big town. I mean, they got the big offices, they got the big companies. people wearing suits and ties and stuff. I mean, it's not like back home.
And that's what we try to tell kids. We try to get big time Roustabout All Stars on the show, and like you and Jared, y'all start working at Waukesha when y'all young. Y'all working the machine shops like that, and then next thing you know, you living in the big town of Houston with all them movie stars and all that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I come from Scott, and I worked my way up. I used to work as a welder helper on them pipelines, and then I worked my way up. And I mean, the way the oil field is now, is getting so big, and then they made me go to the big city. And I didn't want to go, but now I've been there for a little while. I've met some nice folks, and it's pretty nice. There's a lot of money out there.
I mean, they say the oil field's getting bigger than a derriere from a woman on a Sir Mix-a-Lot video.
Oh yeah, dude. I'll tell you what.
Hey, hey, Rylan, do you ever sad that you can't work that Waukesha no more?
Yeah, it makes me sad. I used to love interpolating in Waukesha. Sure, I used to like running that mud down hole and working at Waukesha, drilling some ground. But now they got me in the office. I don't know how much I like it. I mean, I kind of like being on the rig floor with them hands. I mean, you kind of see what's going on firsthand from the office. I can't tell what's going on. I mean, if them hands are jacking around and they're eating their lunch at the wrong times or playing in the galley.
That makes you frustrated, huh?
Oh yeah, frustrated. I want to work 18 hours, but the office shuts down at 5. I mean, I'm not used to that.
Well, how you learn how to work all that technology, all that computer business, and all that Nonk, help me out, that PowerPoint.
Electric interstate.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just pretend they asked me to make an Excel spreadsheet. I just start playing around and clicking on buttons. I don't know what I'm doing. I hope I don't get around.
When you have that much experience, though, they rely on your word of mouth, and just to make sure them boys ain't jacking around, because they don't know what they're doing, and that saves your back. I know you was having some trouble with some of them. You slipped discs back there, lifting all that heavy pipery.
Oh yeah, we had some illegal hands, and boys come down from Guadalupe. We got some little illegal hands, but they work hard, and we had them on there. It was working, and had them on a little platform down there, and what's the Indian Bayou, and they came down there and they caught us. We caught them little hands. They sent them back. They sent them back to INS. We had to lose them, so then we had to go hire some more hands. But boy, that's some hard workers.
You ever Rylan, you ever ran into any of them boys trying to smuggle boudin on the rig?
Oh, every now and then they get, but I don't care. I mean, if they want to bring some boudin balls, some links or some cracklings or whatever, I mean, it just depends on the heliport, whichever heliport they fly out of. Sometimes they strict, sometimes they not. Sometimes they don't let a certain weight limit on the on the chopper or the bird or whatever. So
just hope they don't.
They can only bring so many pounds of boudin.
Yeah, or they don't piss test them for that boudin grease.
Well, I heard now most of the heliports and at the canal they got boudin sniffing dogs.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, they'd be stupid not to. I mean, them boys can make some money with that boudin and cracklings at the heliport.
Well, we want to talk about.
Just think if you was about to fly offshore and you could stop at boudin and get you a little pound, you wouldn't do it.
I mean, just a little taste. I mean, it never hurt nobody. Just a little bit.
I mean, yeah, especially when you're gonna be offshore for 14, you might as well get your first couple hours with a full belly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you bring a good point. I mean, but I know them company men don't like them boys smoking that boudin or tasting a little bit of that crackling.
Oh yeah. I just came into Lafayette today. I gotta come see a customer about some dyes, and I stopped at Billy's. I had to stop at Billy's and get me a half a pound. Yeah, and then they believe this. They asked me if I wanted them seasoned or not. You ever heard of that? Why would you? Who would not season that? Who the hell is not seasoned? I said, what the hell is an unseasoned crackling?
What is that?
I said, why would you do that?
What does that taste like?
Some people prefer them not. I said, well, that must be out of town.
What?
If they ain't a local around, it's gonna take a crackling without some seasoning on it.
That means you better not let Nonk find out about that. He'll go shut that whole operation down.
Oh, I'm telling you, if Kirk Theriot found out that there was some people in Scott, Louisiana, a mile from his house, selling cracklings without seasoning on, it'd be a lawsuit. I tell you.
We're gonna have to talk to Mr. Purvis about that. That's a shame.
Oh, I already got that in the works. I didn't talk to Purvis this afternoon. I went down there to the gallery at Cajun. I talked to Brad Boudreaux down there, and he's in the works of making a big a big monument that's gonna go in the middle of that roustabout.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not a roustabout, a roundabout.
Well,
They got that big roundabout down in Scott, and Brad's making a monument for Purvis. He got a contract, like a government contract for Purvis, and they putting that big monument down there. And I then talked to him. I said, next time you talk to Purvis, I said, tell him to run down to Billy's and see what's going on with them non-seasoned cracklings. I said, you got to put a stop to that.
You gotta put a stop to it now.
Man, they should put an embargo treaty or something. Maybe they can
That's
call
like blasphemy.
NATO. Man, they can call NATO and shut that down.
Yeah, because Billy's is known for good boudin. I mean, they probably got one of the better boudins in town.
It's really good, but I mean, they're non-seasoned. I mean, you ruin your reputation.
Yeah, that's probably all them tourists that come in the Scott now.
Dolla Dawg kept telling you that Dr. P, she's coming in town and she's ruining that. People are getting scared to eat that seasoning.
With Dolla Dawg, where you at? You ain't made no back calls? Or you running South Texas or what?
Yeah, I'm right south of Dulac right now. I just got some 1/4-inch pipe I had to drop off me.
Where you at?
Well, I'm heading back to Delcom. Delcom to Dulac every day.
Oh, Dulac.
That's what I was saying.
Let me know. Let me know next time you pass by Intercoastal. I'm gonna see if I got a back haul.
Well, if you really need that, call your boys at the shop. I'll pass by Broussard right there. I'll pick up that generator. I'll hot shot that to you. If my boy needs a generator.
I'm gonna get you some work. I'm gonna get you more work than you can handle, boy.
Well, Rylan, I mean, we appreciate you. I know we had said we were scared that maybe, you couldn't answer. I know you're busy now and you got a lot of hands working underneath you, and we appreciate you taking the time out to come on the Wet Talk podcast.
Well, Nonk, you know why we got Rylan on the show? Well, I mean, we don't talk to that many people from the big city. I just
moved to the big city, though. I'm from the little town.
Yeah, you gotta tell us about Houston. How nice it is.
Oh, it's fancy. I mean, they got some really nice places. That Galleria, they got an ice skating ring in there.
Ice skating ring and what?
And for Christmas, they got a Christmas tree. It's 5 stories tall. So you can they ice skate around it. You ought to see that.
Well, is that as big? Like, I know it's not ice, but the skate zone. It's about the size of the skate zone. You think?
Yeah, it's like the skate ring. You got a little go-kart track, too. You ought to see that, boy. Kind of like the kart ranch, but it's nice.
Probably busy,
fancy kart ranch. So it's like a kart ranch.
But, Nonk Chauz, you ain't been offshore anytime lately? I'm looking for a good hand.
Well, I blew out my brisket. I had been down to pick up I turned my body a certain way, and it's like my brisket, it kind of gave like that.
Well, I done told you not to bend over when you grab the stick. You gotta use your knees.
That workman's comp that. But I'm still doing stuff in the yard. I'm still playing my music. I'm fighting crawfish right now. Trying to make some money on the side.
How many times I gotta tell you to bend the knees, boy? You can't pick up them heavy slips with bending at your back.
I mean,
them young boys don't want to work. Young boys don't want to work no more, and I get fed up with that. And they tried. I slipped that brisket blew out in my back, and I started having problems with my gizzard. And they shipped me to the office, kind of like you, and blew up that fax machine. I tried to fax my buddy a play lunch.
Hey, that's something, huh? Then things can make a scan. You can send it to your mama. You can send it to your daddy. I mean, you can do anything with the machine.
Oh, yeah, I don't even know how to use that. They kicked me out the office too, so I'm just collecting my workman's comp and working in the garden, and trying to keep up with Bernice around the house. That's like a full-time job in itself.
Now, how's Bernice?
Well, she's good. She's getting she's getting bigger. She's been eating a lot of roast, and she's just ticking it up, staying healthy. She's been doing some Afghans. She's been starting to crochet some Afghans and for different people's birthdays, and she plays the cross stitch games and all kind of stuff. She's in a Pokino club. She stays busy though. Look, Rylan, I appreciate you calling into the podcast net show, and Dolla Dawg's gonna hot shot you some of that generator. Try to get that to you in the morning. By the time you get there from Lafayette, after you eat your unseasoned cracklings, it should be out there for you, sure.
Oh yeah, well look, I appreciate y'all and your time and having me on the show. I got that. I gotta get back to the state town. I will, and we got that big oil conference next week. OTC is the Oilfield Technical Conference, I think, and that's gonna go on for a week. That's at the stadium, and we're gonna be over there. We'll meet a bunch of people, and then I'm gonna find out a bunch of stuff about the oil field, and then maybe next week or a week after that. Y'all call me back and I can let y'all know what's going on and you know what the Gulf looks like and y'all can figure out how much gas is gonna cost y'all this summer when y'all want to go to Holly Beach.
Yeah, and we'll call you and pass your ear on the show again and let all your little partners in the oil field know that Nonk got his songs on iTunes finally. It only took about 3 years. So y'all can back up your trucks to the iTunes and y'all could download that into the bed of your trucks.
Oh yeah, that's good. You have to teach me how to do that. I'm not familiar with all that, but that'd be good. You can listen to that on the rig, me.
Oh man, and we love y'all.
Oh yeah, Dolla Dawg and Nonk. Appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Y'all be good, and y'all be good and have fun and Mother's Day and all that. Give me a call back sometime soon.
Okay, sure. Bye bye.
All right, au revoir.
Oh, well, I tell you what, Dolla Dawg, it was nice catching up with old Rylan working that Walker show.
I hope he really calls me. I need some more work, me. You know, I always like to get on that. I'm a hot shot that tonight, me.
Well, I'm chomping at the bit to try to get out the house too, man. I'm hoping my back gets better and I can get around. I might try to buy me some of them all white Ruse shoes. I heard them all white Ruse are good shoes for your back. And maybe Rylan said that he could get me on a job out there.
I always tell you, Hammerhead Hotshot's always looking. I know you got to work nights sometimes. I know you don't like to work nights, because you got Bernice and all that.
Well, we like to go to that on my days off. She likes to go to that VFW and play the bingo and to the ranch and stuff. It's romantic. We get a nacho and we share that. We share a Dr. Chick at the table and.
Well, I always tell you, you lifting heavy things all the time offshore. That's all them young boys. I mean, you got to take your knees and your back. I mean, you got to take your knees and your legs right out of the equation. You got to use just your back, and that's the way you stay healthy. You're trying to use your legs, and you're gonna blow something out. You got to use that lower back. That's where your power comes from.
Well, everybody done told me different all my life, and obviously it didn't work. So use just your back. And keep your legs wide.
Yeah. That's how I do it. I use just my back, and I like to do sharp, twisty motions with my lower back, and that's how I stay lean and mean.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, take your legs right out of the equation. Just use your back. That's what my daddy always told me, and I mean he's still working offshore. Him.
Well, I mean you can't argue with that. The other way didn't work. I've been trying to use my legs, and it didn't work. Blew my brisket out, and I'm having gizzard problems. All kind of things are going wrong with me.
Well, I heard that Todd can't make it today for the Cajun word of the day.
Man, with Todd Savoy from Savoy's Remodeling, with Todd Savoy, man, no, he couldn't. The boys are so busy. Him and Donovan, I called him. I said, man, we need our French word of the day. And boy, they was like, oh, we busy. Man, they don't usually say that to me when I call in the afternoons. They usually off by then. Big Joe went back to work. He was working for like Greens Energy or somebody, and they had went out of business. And he was working with Todd. Well, he got another job or somewhere. He wasn't there. Red wasn't there. Todd and them's air gun jam. They were on 2 job sites in one day. They all farshade. They gotta get the jobs done before the summer hits, and Todd can't make it. But I'm gonna try to cover. I know I don't have a pretty voice like Todd, and I'm not funny like Todd, but I'm gonna try to do the Cajun word of the day.
Well, let's hear it. What you got for us?
Cajun word of the day for today is on plot.
On plot.
Yeah, man, tell us before I tell the listeners what it means, Dolla Dawg. What you think that means? Like, let me use it in a sentence. Boy, you spilling everything. You're on plot.
I'm on plot. That means like, I guess that's kind of like you know, like kind of like that slang on point. That like that I got my stuff grooving. Like you know, T plot and them. T plot's on plot.
That's close to what it means, but it means you're clumsy. Like if somebody's they spilling something or they breaking, they keep dropping stuff on the floor, and oh, watch him, got T-Bug. He's on plot him. You know, my mama used to say that because I eat fast, me.
So that means you're clumsy.
Yeah, you're clumsy. You're on plot.
On plot. T plot. What about T plot?
I think that's somebody that your mama knew when she grew up in Pecan Island.
Yeah, you might be right. That's a good one right there. I think you hear a lot of the older people saying that.
Yeah.
You're on plot. You're on plot. You
on plot. You.
Don't tell me. I'll tell you.
Don't tell me I'm on plot. You on plot. You.
That's a good one, Shaq. Well,
Mama's a good one.
I didn't tell you this though. The other day I had to bring I brought my sister down to New Orleans. Oh, BB. She's trying out for the Sensations. Yeah, she's all happy. She lost a whole bunch of weight. Oh, BB, you know.
I was about to say she's healthy. I didn't know she had. I don't know if they would have picked her. I mean, I'm not trying to say nothing mean about your sister.
Well, she, you know, you sat down, you worked with her, you know, she likes to eat all the pralines and all that, and you told her, you got to eat your greens, you know, you got to eat gumbo, you got to eat the jambalayas, you know, you got to mix your green peppers in there, you know, she was just eating
bell peppers, stuff like that.
Yeah, your turducken, your roast, you know, and your crackling, you know, she kind of got on that diet, and she lost a good 50, 60 pounds, you know, she's almost down to 300 pounds now. I mean, she's looking good. You know, she's working through the diabetes and all that, and she wanted to go try out for the old Sensations, and she made the team, but she didn't really make the Sensations.
She was a manager or something?
No, she made the Saints practice squad as a O-line.
Man, that's even better.
Yeah, she's kind of happy, and she's got a mixed emotions. You know, we're proud of her. You know, she you know, in high school she benched good 325, 350.
Yeah. I know she dressed with she probably feel dressed about that in high school too. Without pads. It's about what she weighed. And I never got that. They call her BB, but she was more like a buckshot.
Well, they call her TBB. She's the youngest of the litter.
That's the baby.
Yeah, the TBB. I mean, she's always been a bigger gal. I'll give you that. But I mean, she moves like a panther, you know.
Yeah.
Well, but before the diabetes, you know, she got that bad foot now. She almost lost a toe a couple of years back now.
That's what I heard. You know, she had something.
Yeah, the diabetes will get you there, T-Nonk. But, you know, like I said, she's proud. She lost that 50, 60 pounds. I think if you keep working with her on that diet, she's going to lose a lot more.
Yeah, put her in touch with Dr. Pancake.
Dr. Pepsky or Pinsky or, yeah.
Yeah, Pinsky.
She'll talk to her. But, well, you ready for the news, T-Boy?
Yeah, I like that news with Dolla Dawg.
It's the news with Dolla Dawg. I got some. Well, here we go. I got a bad hair day. That's the name of the article. On the afternoon of April 10th, 2014, 29-year-old Ryan Trimbley entered Bubbles Hair Salon on a mission. It was not give him a style that would turn heads or attract a new mate, though. Ryan was planning to rob the place. He walked up to the receptionist, put his hand under his shirt, and demanded that she gave him the money in the register. Unfortunately for him, the young lady behind the counter was not fooled by the finger gun. Instead, she simply laughed in his face. The receptionist also pointed out to the robber that, hopefully not to him, how stupid it was to rob a hair salon since the bank was right next door. Although to Ryan's credit, he may have not correctly setting the bar low with regrets to his criminal ability. After having completely failed at the robbery and began completely emasculated, Ryan decided that now was the best time to spit some game. attempting to make small talk to receptionists before leaving the saloon. Ryan Trimley was arrested and charged with attempted robbery and theft of less than $1,000, which I assume means that he took more than 1 mint off the counter before leaving the saloon.
Well, where that took place, the weekend here in Scott?
It doesn't have a location. It just says the Bubbles Hair Saloon.
Oh, it's called Bubbles. Man, so, why didn't tell the little gal, well, you know, he was trying to spit on her, you said.
Well, you know, like spitting that game. Like I guess he was on plot trying to get that game. He was clumsy with his game.
Oh man, he was trying to take her to the dance.
No, it's like, you know, when you try to pick up Bernice, you're nice to her.
Right now, I can't pick her up with my back.
You know, like let's say when you're trying to talk to a girl, you know, like you're trying
to flirt with her.
Yeah, you try to woo her. You try to.
Okay. Now, why he didn't take the money, rob the money with his finger, and if he wanted to take a little girl on a date, then maybe he could have split the money or used the money and brought it to Lanyos or something fancy like Don's or something like that.
Well, I think the little lady was trying to tell him that you know, one, the hair saloon is named Bubbles, so they probably ain't got too much business, and two, there wasn't too much money in the register. That was probably not a good place to stick up.
Man, yeah, because $800 nowadays, you can't really buy too much with that. And I'm not rich, but that's not worth going to jail. And then people trying to cut hair, and then what if all them women got scissors?
Well,
they could have cut him. They could have stabbed him.
Well, the little girl, I mean, I guess he wasn't too opposing. I mean, the little girl laughed in his face.
Man, Paul, he couldn't even rob a place.
Couldn't even rob a place.
Well, that's a shame. And they got a lot of stuff going on out there. Yeah. People are crazy. Yeah. That's why I always tell y'all on the WEA Talk podcast net, y'all come home before the street lights are on, because we love y'all. We don't want y'all out there late. They got them crazy people out there, you know. They do stuff sometimes. It doesn't make more sense than a screen door on a submarine, you know.
Well, that's why you put your fence up. You said that people were robbing in your neighborhood.
They were stealing in my neighborhood, and I live on a dead end. I mean, that don't make no sense.
I mean, what the dead end has to do with anything?
Well, if I was a robber, I wouldn't rob a dead end. You got one way in, one way out.
Oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. I guess I'm not a good robber.
No, but that's why you hot shot you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess people. I mean, it's hard times. I guess people just trying to make money any way they can, slang and bang and all that, gang banging.
Man, that's not gonna make you no money, man. That's gonna get you in the jammer. And they got more room coming. They got the new jail in Scott, like Mr. Morrison said. So if you want to slang and bang, you're gonna bang in the chains. You're gonna be in the jail.
Somebody will be in there slanging and banging.
That's right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank y'all for passing y'all here on the WEA Talk podcast net, and we'd like to thank all our guests for coming on the show. We had Mr. Perry. We wish you luck on your Cajun music. And we had the Waukesha wrestler himself, Rylan Theriot, and as always, you had Dolla Dawg, one of my partners from Hammerhead Hotshot, and my silky smooth God-given voice of Nonk Chauz. We'll be back soon with some more podcasts net, and until then, y'all take care, and we love y'all. Bye-bye.
Miss Angel hooked me quick. She had a fricassee that was nice and thick. Now what a start to a day. I'm back on Berlier. Y'all know what to do and you know what to say. Now do the play lunch attack and do the play.
Man, how y'all doing? This is a commercial, and y'all listening to Nonk Chauz's silky smooth God-given gift of a voice. But this could be your voice. This could be your commercial. All you gotta do is let us know on our Fashe book. We're just a click away. You want to run a little ad campaign on here, or you want Nonk to do a commercial for you? Sure, Nonk don't mind. Just let Nonk know, sure. Y'all can page me, come pass by my house after bingo session lets out, or y'all can just click on the Fashe book and look us up on the electric interstate. Thank y'all. Bye-bye.
Put your plate lunch in the microwave. Put your plate lunch in the microwave. To the fellas in the back slaving over the pit. Take your little break and put you in a dip. To the ladies in the front, tie your aprons tight. Cause that plate lunch attack it goes through Sunday night.